Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is All in Media Group Sports. I'm your host, Slick Daddy Chris, or Chris if you want to keep it sweet and simple. I'm not recording in a long time, so we're going to hit a few topics in this video blog. And the topics will be general football discussion. We're going to cover the coronavirus. Yes, it's the hype word right now, or COVID-19 as they have shortlisted it, abbreviated it, sorry. Talk about Liverpool, my beloved Liverpool, how they're going. We'll also talk about VAR, and we'll talk about a football incident that happened yesterday, Wednesday the 4th. If you see me looking up, by the way, Sky Sports News is on the TV. I like to keep up to date with all the sports topics, all the latest sports news. So without further ado, let's tackle the football incident yesterday. It's Thursday the 5th of March right now. So the evening of Wednesday the 4th in an FA Cup tie between Norwich and Tottenham Hotspurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium up there in North London. If you read in your local newspapers or you're online, whether it be BBC, Sky Sports or whatever sports website you go to, you would read about Eric Dyer's intrusion to the stands. The reason why it will be called an intrusion or encroachment is because it's an area of the stadium that a footballer really is not supposed to go into during, or after a match, not the way he did. So basically, allegedly what happened is a fan was, obviously Tottenham lost, so the home support are not really going to be happy, and eventually what occurred is apparently Eric Dyer's younger brother was verbally abused or offended at something said to him, and Eric Dyer didn't take kind to it. Now, there's, depending on what source you're reading from, it was the brother that was being abused or were being verbally abused or attacked. Another source says it was Eric Dyer that was being abused throughout the game. Their slurs were being yelled at him about him, his performance, and then eventually what actually happened is his brother took offense, tried to defend his brother as you would, and then everything turned on the younger brother. Now, the reason why I mention this is it right for Eric Dyer to do what he did? In hindsight, no. Jose Mourinho, the Tottenham manager, has actually said that he wouldn't back the club if they were to fine him or punish him for this. But FA rules and regulations say the club should take punishment, or the FA will. It's probably a fine and maybe a 1 match ban or a heavy fine or some community service or something like that. I don't know. But it's up to the club, it's up to the FA to intervene and find out what exactly happened. Because what exactly happened is, well, the truth's not come out yet. They've got fan footage. Everybody's got a camera phone right now. And they've got fan footage of the incident. And all you can see is Eric Dyer's head and he's yelling at someone. And then he's saying, "That's my brother." So, that's the incident that happened. You can see it in the news. And to me, like I say, in my general opinion, Eric Dyer was in the wrong to go into the crowd the way he did aggressively. I mean, the first course of action I would have said is get 2 security guards to come with you and say, "Listen, at the end of the day, I don't know what's happening with a family member. Can you intervene?" Or maybe if he went not so aggressive or tried to get a security guard to get his brother to come down. Either way, there's different ways people will look at it. The FA will say a football player is not meant to be going into the stands, even when they're celebrating a goal. You can celebrate a bit, but you got to come away because, as you know, it's a booking if you entice the crowd into a frenzy. It's a booking if you remove your shirt. And so that's basically, so there are strict guidelines in place approaching fans, going into the stand. And you'll see a lot of footballers, they go with the fans a bit, quick 30 seconds, and they join the players. Referees frown upon it, but they don't punish it. They will warn the player. But so, taking that to account, that during the match, after the match, you're going to notice a lot these days, the players go and clap them, because they're not actually allowed to go into the stands. So Eric Dyer, that is why the FA could most likely fine or try to ban Eric Dyer. But I do believe the key player in this whole situation right now is Tottenham Football Club. They will have to say, Eric Dyer, hey, what's going on? They'll have to publicly declare what they're going to do with him. And I'd be surprised if nothing's done. Jose Mourinho, his manager, basically said he, it's not the professional thing to do, but it is the thing that most of us would do, which is very, very well said, Jose. And the end of the day, Jose, sorry, but at the end of the day, yeah, and he said that he wouldn't back the club if they were to punish him, but what he's done was wrong. So that's the manager taking responsibility. Yeah, what he did is wrong, as you don't have to punish the guy. I mean, a public apology or a public statement, I think, from the player and the manager, a joint statement from the manager, I think that would go well. And if the Tottenham Hotspur Football Club was then to come on and do a public statement, say, hey, we're looking into it, cameras are looking onto it. So, it's a situation that will be looked after. So, yeah, that's basically my view on it. To me, yes, it's wrong. Shouldn't have done it. I reckon I personally would have asked the security guard, can you get my brother from down there? Or I would have taken the security guard with me and escorted them away. That's what I would have done. But hey, I'm just a supporter fan sitting here watching the news, finding out what happened. All right, so let's talk about what's the COVID-19, the coronavirus, and the effect it's having on football. Now, as you know, you got to read different news outlets because it is not a political thing. It's a worldwide event right now. It's an epidemic, they're trying to say. And they're trying to stop it going for a pandemic, if I've got that the right way. How does that affect sport? Well, it has affected sport. In China and in most parts of Asia, all sports have been cancelled. It's been stopped. In Italy, where the outbreak spread very quick, I'm surprised. There's a lot of rumours on how that happened, but I'm not going to go on rumour and speculation. I'm going to go on facts. Fact of the matter is, they've had to play most of their games behind closed doors right now. The last news we heard on this was somewhere in the Middle East, I believe. Was it Romania? Morocco. Somewhere in Monaco or Morocco, one of the two. I think it was Morocco, one of the two. Basically, their league, all games will now be played behind closed doors. An action that the Barclays Premier League here in England, they're thinking of playing the remainder of the season behind closed doors. Now, this is through government advice that mass gatherings should basically be shunned upon. We should not try to gather in mass because this will help spread the virus more. Now, the biggest thing off the sports side, and let's just go to general hygiene, medical hygiene, is that we should be washing our hands before we eat. Washing our hands if we've been on public transport. If you sneeze or cough into your hand, wash it straight away, put it in a tissue, dispose of the tissue, still wash your hands. The basics have been ignored for so many years. So a virus or some sort of bacterial outbreak is going to have an impact like this. And when this practice is not common practice to be hygienic, then this is what happens. So right now, the government's saying, hey, let's be more hygienic. Well, that should be an everyday thing. So how this is affecting sports is not a surprise. So what's my opinion on this? What's my play in this? My play in this is basically, my angle is like, we should be hygienic. Anyway, in terms of sports, yes, human life should be preserved. We should try to stop the spread because, before we have an epidemic or a pandemic, let's nip it in the bud. So right now, the government are doing the right thing. Boris Johnson has held a Cobra meeting. I think he's held 2 of them. He's going to hold a 3rd one in the coming days about how we're going to stop the spread. And in sports, I do believe it's the right way to go. Let's play the games behind closed doors. But here's the key thing. A lot of people say, so if you do that, what about the season ticket holders? What about people that have bought tickets for the games? Now, if it's a one-off purchase for the ticket, I do believe clubs should refund those tickets. I know it's going to be a lot of money, but the only other way around this is how I feel they should deal with the season ticket holders. Now, the season ticket holders now, obviously they're going to be priority because they are, unfortunately, they are commodity. They are guaranteed money to these football clubs. How I think this should work? Well, Sky and BT Sports have both got a very strong relationship with the Premier League. And there's nothing stopping them from saying, if you can prove to your provider that you are a season ticket holder, which will be very easy, by the way, then if you don't have Sky Sports or BT Sports and your game is on one of them channels, you should have open access to it for the weekend, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Sky and BT could easily just flick a switch, and they've proven you're a season ticket holder to that, and so you have access to your team. You can watch it for free. If you are a Sky or BT viewer already, you have that platform. I then believe that Sky or BT should deduct your bill for that month. Why? Here's why. Because you've already paid for it. When BT and Sky pay all these billions to, broadcast these games live, we cover the back end of that via our subscription fees. So right now, when you pay your subscription fee, you're paying towards what Sky and BT have paid towards the Premier League. So we paying for it, but so at the end of the day, if we paid for it, we're going to watch it. But I'm a season ticket holder who's also paid to go and watch the game live, because some season ticket holders don't go to every game. Now, they can't go to this game anyway, so what do? We're a brick wall. So before I confuse anybody, the point here in the matter is deduct their bill. They can't go to the game. It's the government. This is the government, and it's the Premier League officials who have said we closing the stadiums. So of course deduct the cable bill or the Sky bill, whatever it's going to be. So that's what I think they should do. So again, one-off purchases, refund them. If that's not the way you want to go, then let them watch it on their platform for free or deduct their bill. And the same goes with the season ticket holders. So that's the COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, and how it's affecting football. It is a health reason why they are actually now saying they are now going to play the rest of the season behind closed doors. I think that comes into effect. Example, Liverpool Bournemouth on Saturday afternoon. And there's FA Cup games tonight as well. I think them games are going ahead as usual. But if the government call for it, then maybe even not by the weekend because it's too quick, but maybe by early next week they'll implement it, that games will be played behind closed doors. Now that moves me swiftly on to my beloved Liverpool, because it kind of goes hand in hand. You'll understand what I mean. Now, obviously, I think this was just scaremongering by certain news outlets that, they're going to scrap the rest of the season and Liverpool won't be able to get their title. Now, you've got to think also that scaremongering, because why would you scrap the rest of the season? The obvious way to go would be play behind closed doors. Get all your players tested, make sure they're all medically cleared, and then get them on that field, because they have to fulfill the fixtures. Now, so we've already covered the fans. What about them? Well, those who have paid their season tickets or paid to watch that game should be able to watch it for free or discount it at home. You hear me? No problem. And to me, in my opinion, and I'm just throwing it out there, I'm very surprised BBC, ITV, Channel 5, I'm very surprised Sky's not even mentioned putting it on Sky 1. I'm very surprised BT have not said you will put it on our showcase channel. Show it for free. Because there's so many fans out there that are going to feel like, hold on, I've paid to watch this game. I can't go and watch it live. So, I'd say show it for free. I'd say people right now should be able to still watch this somehow, one way or another. So with that said, they're being played behind closed doors. Liverpool win the league. Of course, we've waited 30 years. Our fans will probably still gather outside. You got to think of the victory parade. So here's two examples, and this is where it affects Manchester City or any clubs who are left in the FA Cup, and any clubs the English clubs that are in the Champions League and the Europa League. What if they go on to win these competitions? So, i.e., Liverpool win the Premier League, which they should be able to wrap that up within the next 6 games. Even though, and I'm going to go into this in a minute, even though they've lost the last 3 out of 4 games, they should be able to pick up enough form to go and wrap up the league. What about their title parade? What if they turn around the Atletico Madrid result and they win the Champions League back to back? What if, Man United, I believe, who else is there? Wolves and Tottenham. They're all through to the next... No, not Tottenham. Man United and Wolves, I believe. And Rangers, that's right. Are the British clubs left in Europa League. What if one of them go to lift that trophy? Man City or Liverpool win the Champions League. Then Man City go on to win the FA Cup, and those left in the FA Cup. What if they win those respective trophies? They're going to want a parade, especially Man City. That will be a double for them. Depending on what they do in the Champions League, that could be a double for them. That could be a treble for them even. It could be there could be a double for Man United or Wolves. They could win the Europa League and the FA Cup. So what I'm throwing scenarios out there to see the really deep thought level that the FA, UEFA, and FIFA really have to think about right now is that what if respected clubs win their leagues, win their domestic cup competitions, they want to do their victory parades? What do we do then? You're not going to be able to stop what would be upwards of 400, 500, probably 400,000 or 500,000 Scousers, or a million Scousers probably, that's going to turn out on the streets of Liverpool to celebrate after a 30-year wait. Especially if that's backed up by a Champions League, so they got 2 trophies to display. You're not going to stop Manchester City fans who have been dreaming of a Champions League victory, and if they do actually continue on from the great result they've done out there in Madrid, the 2-1 result, what if they now use that momentum and go win it? You're not going to stop them from going on the streets of Manchester and doing a parade past Old Trafford to say, yeah, we won the Champions League. So food for thought, FIFA, FA, start thinking. Because I would even go as far to say, and I know it's far-fetched, but I'd even go far to say right now, start people that can prove they've not got the coronavirus. We're going to do the parade inside the stadium. 3 for 4. So, hey, that's COVID-19 and coronavirus, and that's also what's happening with all the different teams I've just mentioned. I started my beloved Liverpool, but they are affected. All of them are affected by this virus. And moving swiftly on to Liverpool. Yes, I've just mentioned they've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. They had a very close shave against West Ham, and then Watford beat them. And then obviously we now know they lost in the FA Cup to Chelsea last night, and they also have lost to Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, but they can turn that one around in the second leg next week. So right now, there's a general hype right now that, oh, the wheels are falling off. No, it hasn't. Come on. Every team goes through a bad patch. And the way I view it as a beloved Liverpool fan and supporter, but also as this a football head. Every team, every season, go through that blip where they go for a 3-4 game period where they might lose 2 or 3 and draw 1 or 2, whatever. And that's what Liverpool are going through right now. Now, I prefer to go through a bad blip, 22 points ahead in the Premier League. Now, the way Liverpool have been playing over the past month, I would say, they've been winning games at the skin of their teeth. Now, I'd have preferred less games winning at the skin of their teeth and beating Chelsea by the skin of their teeth, or at least getting a draw. Getting a draw against Atletico by the skin of our teeth, and Watford now again winning that by the skin of our teeth. So in other words, less games where we're winning just by the 1-goal margin and really, really bringing the intensity that Liverpool had last season. So, but hey, it's happened. Lost 3 out of the past 4 games. They can turn it around against Bournemouth, which is not going to be a given. Bournemouth will fight relegation, so they're going to fight tooth and nail, especially at Anfield. And Bournemouth are playing some good football this season. Unfortunately, VAR and certain results have gone against them. So, my beloved Liverpool, we've won the Champions League last season. We won the Super Cup, the World Club Cup. We are on to win the Premier League. There's 4 more victories. Depending on what happens in the Manchester derby this Sunday, that will be live on Sky Sports. Great watch. If they draw, then it brings Liverpool's pressure down to 3 games. Actually, no. Sorry, that will be 2 games. Because right now it's 4 games. If Liverpool was to beat Bournemouth, then it would be down to because right now it's at 3. Liverpool win, it will be down to. Right now it's 4, sorry. Liverpool win, it will be down to 3. If Man City now draw or lose, which I hope they draw, then it'll be 2 games. And come on now. I mean, you go all out then. So, yeah, that's the situation with Liverpool and final VAR. Very interesting. The Opta Index, not Opta Index. There's certain football football websites and mediums that have actually done what they call VAR leagues, VAR tables, and One Football's one of them. There's quite a few of them, and they've basically compiled a table that has basically so you got the Premier League table, and then they've said, right, if VAR was not included in certain on-field scenarios, if you took VAR out of it, so certain goals was not allowed, was not disallowed, it was allowed, certain offsides, the goal was given, certain red cards was meant to happen, i.e. what happened at Tottenham v Chelsea, where the player should have been sent off. VAR looked at it, they looked at it again, they looked at it again, and they didn't even book the player. And then it came back, VAR admitted halfway through the match, no, that should have been a red. So situations like that, they're trying to say, what would the table look like? And hey, press go, the liver VAR theory has just been debunked, because the team that has actually benefited the most, drumroll, Manchester United. They're the ones that have actually benefited more from VAR. People want to butter it up, butter it down. Long short of it is, they have benefited by a +8 goals. Yeah, points wise, I didn't see the points, but they've basically got something like 10 or 20. Was it 10 or 12 points? Better off because of VAR. So if you took VAR away from them, they would be further down the table. And the team that suffered the most are teams like Bournemouth and I believe Aston Villa, and teams like this, Sheffield United, another one. Burnley are suffering from VAR as well. So VAR right now, if you looked at one of my older posts, older vlogs, video blogs, you'll see, you'll listen to my whole view on VAR and how it should work. And just to repeat over some of what I said then, VAR should be in line with how it works in tennis and American football and cricket. Should be faster. So just to let you know, there was a Liverpool game. Okay, what game was it? I want to be accurate here. But there was a Liverpool game where they checked for if Liverpool should have got a penalty. And the check was done in all of 20 seconds. It was actually the quickest VAR check in VAR history in the Premier League. Now, they could have checked that very fast. I think it was actually against Watford. And it would have made a difference. Because Liverpool, one of them teams who score and they keep scoring. You know, especially if they are 2-0 down or 2-1 down, they will keep scoring. West Ham being a great example, being 2-1 down. They then came back to win 3-2. So the point of the match, once they score, they keep scoring. So the long short of it is, I believe it was Watford actually. A VAR check happened, and it was checked so quick. It was like you could never get a true, a clear and obvious decision on that. Surely you got to take a little bit longer, 30 seconds. It was done in 15 to 20 seconds. I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not talking as a biased Liverpool fan here. I'm actually talking as a football fan. The check was done too quick. It was like they just didn't want to look at it. But end of the day, with VAR, that's the situation with VAR. Manchester United have benefited the most on that table. Liverpool are languishing in like 14th or 15th, along with Chelsea, of teams that have benefited from VAR, and Liverpool are actually only on +1 and Chelsea on +1. So that puts away, that debunks the liver VAR tag that the team's been given. Proves Liverpool are not winning the league because of VAR. They're winning it because sheer brilliance, and that's what my point here is. Sheer brilliance. And yeah, so that wraps up VAR basically. So that's where VAR is right now. VAR right now, they're going to be reviewed. Apparently, Arsene Wenger, working over there at UEFA now, working very closely with FIFA, has put forward proposals to change the offside rule in VAR. And UEFA are actually considering it. There's a meeting coming up soon. If it's not postponed because of the COVID-19, it will go ahead and they'll discuss making changes and trying to implement them for this year's Euro 2020 championships, if that goes ahead as planned. Because if this goes up for epidemic or pandemic levels, then all sports events get cancelled straight away. So that's the situation with VAR. That's the situation with COVID-19. So that's the final point on that as well. By the way, I should have covered that earlier. But if it does go to pandemic levels, then all sporting events will be cancelled, and behind closed door um, games will even be cancelled. So that's my general discussion for football today. I hope I've made a lot of sense. I hope you've enjoyed. That's a quick joke before I leave. I've been asked, why? What's all this about? Why do you look so stressed? This is wisdom, I would say. And, you know, it's just I always seem to do these videos before I get a haircut, and I should take them after. There you go. But yeah, so it's not stress. It's just, you know, I'll get it done. Next time you see me, I'll probably be all slick, you know. It's my birthday month. Hello. Hint, hint. Car. 5K TV. Anyway, let's move on swiftly. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, please, guys. I'm getting inbox messages. I'm getting people that know me in person say, hey, Chris, you should talk about this. I need those subscriptions, guys. And again, comment if you agree with what I'm saying. If you need more clarification, if you disagree with what I'm saying, please, I welcome it. Facebookers, definitely hit all in media groups, sports, and all in media groups and entertainment. Hit those channels, and I look forward to your comments. Have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night, wherever you are. I'm out. Take care.